What is up, guys? Welcome back. I'm going to start off this video by saying that it's probably going to be a shorter one, probably like 10 minutes long, if that. But today we're going to be ranking the studio albums by Emperor, the legendary black metal band. I believe they formed in 91 and they released their first studio album in 94. Now, that was the only album by them that I thought was like strictly black metal. Like it had that more black metal sound with some, symphonic influence. Um, I think 94, I'm going on a little tangent before we even get into this. I think 94 is an incredible year for black metal. Any black metal album from 94 is just like bound and determined to be good. Some of my favorite black metal albums came out in 1994. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get right into this ranking. Yes. So coming in at number 4, I gotta put their most recent album, which came out in fucking 2001, maybe, Prometheus. So this album right off the bat for me sounded a little bit different than the rest of Emperor's albums. I wasn't the biggest fan of this album, but they're still all so good. Like, I can't shit on this album for being what it was. It was their last album, and they all agreed that the band shouldn't really be together anymore. But with that, I think they released an incredible album, Prometheus being that album for their last album in 2001. And it differs from the rest stylistically in some ways, but it still brings hell all the way through. And to me, that makes this an incredible album. Like, I can't say that Emperor has a bad album. I've listened to all 4 of them in the past couple days, and I think that they're all super good, but Prometheus to me is their weakest one, and a lot of people disagree with me on that, and I totally get that. I totally get that, like, people are into different styles of music, and people love, that more... A lot of people say that Prometheus has a more mature sound, but to me, I just think it's a little too different from the rest of their catalog. I still think it's incredible, though. Like, if you showed Prometheus to a metal fan or someone who's not even a metal fan and has nothing to do with Emperor, that knows nothing about Emperor, they'd probably think, who the fuck are these guys? And why is this so good? You know what I mean? So, I feel like if you shoved that in someone's face, they would want to hear more and only be more satisfied with the earlier stuff that Emperor put out. So, a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this. Give me one sec. Okay. A lot of people are going to disagree with me on this. It's a lot of noise upstairs. Oh, Merry Christmas, by the way, guys. Yeah, it's the 24th. It's going to be the 25th in like an hour. 2 hours? I don't know. A lot of people are going to disagree with me on this. Coming in number 3, for me, and this is really hard to do because the album that I have in 2nd and 3rd is neck and neck. They are neck and neck. I got to put Anthems in 3rd. Their 2nd studio album. Listen, I love this album to death. I love it stylistically all the way through. The only thing holding it back from being almost as good as my 2nd place choice is the mix. Now, a lot of people give shit to Equilibrium for its mix. But to me, I noticed that no matter what version of the album I listened to on YouTube or Apple Music, the vocals were really hard to hear. The vocals were completely overridden by everything else in the album. But like I said, stylistically, this album is so fucking flawless. Like, I've never listened to a band like Emperor where I have been completely dumbfounded by all of their music, and there is not a single album that I don't feel is strong. But yeah, Anthems comes in third because of its sound quality and just the better things that I have to say about the other two albums. But okay, another thing I noticed about this, and this is good for some metal listeners, but for me, when I want to listen to an album, I want to listen to it thoroughly and hear everything without it shoved directly down my throat. The production just seemed to be kind of loud. The mix seemed to just be really loud. No matter how quiet I had my volume, it seemed to be incredibly loud. Every song on that album is incredible, don't get me wrong, but that's the only thing putting it below what I have in my second place. Going off of that, second place, I have Equilibrium. Equilibrium is that album that, from front to back, whether it be slower or literally grabbing you by the neck and strangling you, this is the album that from front to back will slap you in the face and make you fear for your life. This is such a fast-paced, for the most part, and just absolutely bitter, fucking insane album all the way through, and it's just incredible. This has to be their heaviest album, in my opinion. Like, or it could just be a fact, depending on how many people feel that way. But this has got to be their heaviest album. Granted, it is one of my least favorite album arts by the band, but that is not a cover. That is not a judge a book by its cover situation. This album is so consistently heavy, and it was honestly one of my absolute favorite. I don't know if I want to call this band black metal at this point. It's like black metal with some really fucking fast symphonic shit too. So we'll just call it black metal for the video. But this has to be up there for one of my favorite black metal albums, if you want to call it that. It was one of my favorite listens for sure, especially with Emperor and everything. But yeah, there was not a single part of this album that I was bored in, and frankly, I was sad when it ended. I think it's one of their best, and I think that it's very unfortunate that it was only 44 minutes long. I think that that is a very appropriate length for most metal bands to make their albums, but this one I wanted more. And I think each of their albums is perfectly laid out with length for what it is. So, except for this one, I wish it was a little bit longer because it was just so good and the material was so good, and it was there were points that were raw as fuck and there were parts that were completely organized, and it was just an incredible album all the way through. So, guys, I know a lot of people put this on their number 2. I've even seen a couple put this at their number 3, but I gotta put number 1 at In the Night Side Eclipse. What a fucking great album. I know that this one is different than all of their other ones. Album art-wise, fucking stylistically, it's just so good. I mean, the vocals are different from the other ones on their albums, or from the other vocals on their other albums, but I like this. This album kind of reminds me of going into snowy hills and never coming back. Like, it's just such a dark, fucking eerie feeling album. Down to the album art, down to the lyrics, the vocal style, the tone of the music, mixed with the symphonic and like the synth or whatever's in there. So good and so evil, so dark, and a absolutely perfect debut in the black metal world. So, yeah, that album feels like you're walking into a frozen hell and you are never going to come back. It's perfect. Perfect. Flawless album. Fucking Say what you want. I think it's a flawless album. With that, I think I've said everything I need to say about Emperor, and that's where I stand. Fourth, Prometheus. Second, Anthems. Or third, Anthems. Very close to second, though. Anthems is an incredible album. Two, Equilibrium, and first, In the Night Side Eclipse. Every Emperor album is great, down to a fucking T. So, let me know your lists down below. I know they don't vary too terribly much because there's only 4 albums to rank, which is why this is a shorter video. But I find it hard to talk about Emperor just because of how fucking amazing all of their material is. So, guys, let me know what you want to see next. I have a couple ideas for what I want to start reviewing next. But anyways, it's going to be Christmas in a couple hours, so Merry Christmas. And until you see me next, peace out, rock on, fuck off. Have yourself an incredible winter break. And, you know, if you're an adult, I hope you enjoy Christmas. And, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. We're going to be doing black metal for a little while on the channel, so stay tuned for that. Next 10, 20 videos are probably going to be on black metal. So, I hope you guys like black metal. I know a lot of you guys have been enjoying that on the channel lately, and we've grown in like at least 20 subscribers in the past couple days. So, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.